The deep, dark depths of the ocean. Over 12,000 feet deep and covering an incredible amount of the planet we live on, it's not hard to see why we haven't explored all of it. Bad weather, ocean currents, overwhelming water pressure, all good reasons to stick to land if possible. Plus, people have been telling stories of aquatic atrocities pretty much since we first dipped our pinky toes in naturally occurring bodies of water. What could possibly be dwelling down below? Mythic beasts? Undiscovered underwater societies? Dinosaurs? If you answered dinosaurs, boy, you're in for a treat. Hello fellow friends and philosophers, and welcome back to the most mind-bending channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. I'm your voice in the void, Keegan Hughes, and today we have a particularly waterlogged question for you all. What if Nezahal was real? Don't know who that is? Worry not. We'll get there in a moment. Before we begin, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more sub-aquatic content. Wicked. Let's get started. The name Nezahal might be familiar to any fans of Magic the Gathering out there. One of the 6 elder dinosaurs, Nezahal has the title of Primal Tide. Each representing one of the 6 types of mana, these ancient beings were held in stasis during Orzaka's long hibernation in the earth. Primal Tide is the aquatic variety, a manifestation of blue mana and the devouring depths of the sea. The other elder dinosaurs are manifestations of mana as well, with the titles of Primal Death, Dawn, Calamity, Storm, and Hunger. Definitely not creatures you want to mess with. Nezahal looks like a giant mix between a Liopleurodon and a Plesiosaurus and can slip away into the depths before reappearing to cause havoc. At sea, this beast is a force to be reckoned with, downing ships and other aquatic creatures in a heartbeat. If it were real, we'd be in for a hell of a time. But the first thing you have to assume if Nezahal came to life on planet Earth would be that the other elder dinosaurs would awaken as well. There's no picking and choosing here. If one awakens, so must the rest. The opening of the Golden City waits for no one. So now we have 6 ancient dinosaurs roaming the earth, each harnessing immense elemental power. Jurassic Park has nothing on these SOBs. If you thought that the T-Rex running free caused a lot of problems, imagine what would happen if dinos 10 times bigger with magic powers had the same free reign. Mass destruction. It would make for a wicked movie for sure, but we definitely don't want these guys ruining our cities and stomping our livestock. It would be like any given multi-monster Godzilla movie, and we do not have Pacific Rim style mechs to deal with that. Now you might think, hey, maybe they'll leave us alone, or even better, maybe they'll just keep off to themselves and cause havoc in some far off place. Wrong. Mana users usually take umbrage with other mana users, meaning that they would seek out each other and try to destroy different colored dinos. Our blue boy Nezahal would team up with Tetsumak, Primal Death, and Zatalpa, Primal Dawn, before heading out to take on Itali, Primal Storm, and Galta, Primal Hunger. Once they got there, it would become very apparent that not everyone agrees on their alliances and enemies, and the fight would turn really ugly really quick. As a race, I don't think us humans are ready for the environment-altering disaster that would occur. So the fight would go on, and continents would shift, and the world would never be the same. But some of the primal dinos would die. Sad, I know, dinosaurs are sick as hell and they don't usually fight for fun. Almost as tragic as the asteroid that wiped them out in the first place. But wait, if some dinosaurs were able to survive all this time, wouldn't that imply a wide variety of ancient scaly beasts living out their lives in secret? Yes, that is exactly what I'm implying. If Nezahal was real, that means that the other primal dinosaurs are, which should mean that the other less insane dinosaurs survive somewhere as well. Because we would have figured it out by now, but enough to keep their tiny little dino society running behind the scenes. Granted, most of these would probably be deep underwater because that's the safest place for mass extinction, but dinosaurs nonetheless. We would have an ancient species roaming on the earth once again. Hopefully the fight between the elder dinos left us with a shaky alliance between them too, because we could use them for other things. Okay, specifically we could use Nezahal for other things. The others probably wouldn't cooperate. We'd eventually have to take him down with nukes or otherwise, but Nezahal is the manifestation of blue mana. This mana embodies the concepts of logic and technology. The mana that seeks out perfection through knowledge, that sees the world as an opportunity. Within the world hides wonder and possibility. So I bet we could feed it enough fish and get it to side with us. We would have this giant Liopleurodon / Plesiosaurus to guide us through the depths, discovering whatever ancient aquatic dinosaurs, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Jurassic era. But where do we go from here? Well, did anyone ever play Zoo Tycoon with the expansion pack? Yep, we live in an era of unrestricted free enterprise, so we're getting dinosaur zoos. Oh hell yeah. Come on down to Nezahal's underwater dino zoo. $50 to swim with a Romuliosaurus. Watch the apex predators of their time tear through some fishy meals. It would be incredible. And what happens when you collect a bunch of ancient thought to be extinct dinosaurs and open a theme park? Jurassic Park happens. Dinosaur rampages through the waiting area. Life will not be contained. Hopefully that means we get the cool dino orbs from Jurassic World too. So there we would be, after the largest dino-fueled massacre in history with a whole lot of questions to be answered. The media would have a field day with it. Who is responsible? Why were these dangerous creatures brought into captivity? Why were the scientists so preoccupied with whether or not they could? Why didn't they consider if they should? Which would then bring us back to Nezahal. The primal tide is the reason all this happened in the first place, and people would be pissed. What better scapegoat than a giant aquatic monster with no concept of human suffering? Even with all the other elder dinosaurs gone, people would be out for blood. Dinosaur blood. Sure, it would take a while for the public to come to some sort of consensus on whether or not to kill the wave-running rampager, but in the end, the thirst for blood always wins. Humans don't forgive, we only forget. Nezahal would be sentenced to death, but he would not take it lying down. Actually, I doubt an aquatic beast that size could actually lie down at all. But back to the point I was making, Nezahal would be pissed that people are trying to kill it and would definitely go on a watery rampage. How many ships and subs would be sunk before humans could land a finishing blow on this crazy creature? Dozens? Hundreds? Well, in the end, the ocean would have one more giant corpse, and that would be it for the elder dinosaurs, an ancient race brought to extinction because people got mad. Huh, where have we heard that one before? And that just about wraps up my theory on what would happen if Nezahal was real. All the most ancient and terrifying dinosaurs would come back as a package deal and wreak havoc with their elemental powers. Then most of them would die and we would strike up a scientific deal with Nezahal itself. After that, we would make some incredible discoveries and immediately try to profit off them. This profiteering would end up in a bunch of paying customers being eaten by dinos, which would then lead to public outrage. Kinda like the whole Harambe incident, but with dinosaurs. And somebody would have to take the fall, namely Nezahal. Rest in Pisces, you fishy friend, and may the waves carry you gently to your eternal slumber. So what'd you think? Would things play out a little differently if Nezahal popped up in the Atlantic one day? Are there any magic creatures you want to hear more about? Let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a quick look at some of yours from last time. Matt Smith says, what if Will Smith was real? I mean, you'd know best about that one, he's your brother after all. Nicholas Miracle asks, so if I use the Eldrazi deck, does that make me one of the most powerful beings in the magic world? You gotta talk to your local tournament organizer about that one, make sure you don't get banned. Long Forgotten says, you should do what if One Punch Man fought Cthulhu? Saitama, huh? I've got 2 words for you. One punch. Cameron Mason says, hey, I'm a huge fan. That's great to hear. How fast do your blades spin? That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.